Night has fallen and the knight does not know where he will sleep. He is the warrior Dosanari, Yoshinari. Alone in front of the vast sky and water, he walked through a grass field, looking in all directions hoping to find a village or a place to sleep for the night. If it weren't an #39, T for his haughty appearance and the 2 swords at his waist, no one would think he was a knight. His old, tattered clothes, messy hair, and haggard face showed that he hadn't an #39 tea eaten for a long time. What to drink? He had been out of a job since his employer failed in the struggle for power, and was forced to lay off employees. Dosanari had no choice but to go everywhere to find another job to do, just like his colleagues. But he kept running into risks. He had long run out of food and money and only had 2 swords left. As he walked, he looked everywhere, and finally he saw a house in the distance. Happy because he thought he wouldn't an #39 be able to sleep in the open tonight, he hurried forward. When he arrived at the village, it was already dark and the villagers were getting ready to go to sleep. Dosanari went from house to house, but no one wanted to let him stay. People closed their doors in front of him, and some places didn't an #39 even open their doors anymore. Are they afraid of him? There was a place where the window was open and people told him, "Behind the village there is a small temple, you can go there and sleep overnight." After saying that, this person immediately closed the door. Dosanari was surprised by the villagers and number 39 attitude, but then, he thought that perhaps the officials had ordered the wandering knights to stay, so he went towards the temple. The important thing is to have a roof over your head for the night. Halfway there, he met an old man coming out of the forest, carrying a heavy bundle of firewood on his back. The old man respectfully greeted him and said, "Tall knight. Precious. Do you intend to sleep at the village temple?" "I have no other choice, old man. The villagers seem to be afraid of me and no one would let me sleep, but at least one person advised me to go to the temple in front to sleep." "You shouldn't an #39 go there, noble knight," the old man replied. "I know very well why people advised you to come here. The temple has been abandoned for a long time and there are ghosts in the temple. At night, very strange things often happen there, so no one can stay there all night. Perhaps the villagers hope to ask you to chase them away. But Don and number 39 go there. If you Don and number 39 criticize my humble hut, then I invite you to come and sleep with me." At first, Dosanari was angry with the villagers for wanting to play a prank on him, but then he changed his mind and said to the old man, "Dear old man, I thank you for your kindness. But this is the reason why I came here, otherwise people would think I was scared. And a fighter is not afraid of anything in the world. Noble knight, just do what you think is good. I and number 39 am just telling you that. Now I wish you luck in this battle." Having finished speaking, the old man quickly went home. The road to the temple had long been empty. After walking for a while, Dosanari saw the ruined temple looming in the darkness. There was a huge hole in the roof, and the walls were so cracked and broken that even a cat could easily crawl through the crack. When Dosanari walked up the hallway, he saw that the old railing was only a short distance away, and the floorboards squeaked dangerously under his feet. Behind the large door, a very large spider web stretched horizontally like a thick curtain. The temple was completely empty except for spider webs spread everywhere, a few old mats and a dusty chest. Dosanari prepared a place for himself to lie down in front of the temple. He sat down, keeping 2 swords close to hand, although he did not believe he would use swords to fight ghosts. Then he waited for what was about to happen. Meanwhile it was completely dark. But just a moment later the moon rose, moonlight shone into the hole in the roof and the cracks in the wall shone light inside. Every now and then he heard a crack in the column, but then there was silence. Dosanari intended not to sleep so as not to be surprised if something happened, but because he was tired from traveling far and had to starve, it was not surprising that he slept. Late at night he suddenly woke up to a knock on the door in the north of the house. Temple. At the same time he heard a loud voice, "Is there anyone inside?" Dosanari quickly ran to get his sword. He thought about whether he should answer or not. But before he decided, a light turned on in the next room. Behind the thin bamboo flute, someone answered, "There and number 39. S someone hanging here, someone who and number 39. S been in prison. Today I and number 39. M at home, I and number 39. M ready to receive guests." "Who is it?" He heard a voice outside replying, "I am the bright, hunched person who was lost in the bushes. I came to visit you. Can I come in? Please come in. I and number 39. Am very happy to welcome you." The homeowner replied, but he did not hear any footsteps or noises. A moment later the light in the next room turned off and all was quiet again as before. Dosanari thought he was dreaming, but suddenly he heard a knock on the door again, this time in front of the south side of the temple. The voice called out in a low, nasal voice, "Is there anyone inside?" Just like last time, the light turned on in the next room, then a voice said, "There is someone hanging around here, someone who has been imprisoned. Today I and number 39. M at home, I and number 39. M ready to receive guests." "Who is it?" The guest replied, "I and number 39. M the skinny guy with all my teeth broken, the guy who was hanged on a tree branch. I and number 39. M here to visit you. Can I come in? Please come in. It and number 39. A pleasure to welcome you," the homeowner replied. The lights went out and all was quiet again. Now that Dosanari was convinced that he was not dreaming, he waited for other events to happen next. He didn't and #39. Wait long. Someone knocked on the door in front of the temple. A deep voice asks, "Is there anyone?" When the lamp was lit and the skinny man asks, the guest said, "I am a naked man, panting, a man only half buried. I and number 39. Am here to visit you. Can I come in?" There was an invitation to come in, but Dosanari didn't and #39. Know if the guests were coming in because everyone was silent. Before the light went out, he heard a knock on the door again. This time the door was on the west side. The new guest said, "This is the person with a bloated stomach, the person with an insatiable appetite, the person who drowned in the lake. I and number 39. Am here to visit you. Can I come in?" After guests enter, the lights do not turn off anymore. On the contrary, the light is even brighter than before. The homeowner doesn't and #39. Seem to be waiting for anyone anymore. Dosanari waited again, very nervous but also very courageous. He waited to know what this strange group of people did. For a long time. Nothing happened, He only heard whispers and giggles as well as the sound of dishes clanking together, exactly like the scene of someone inviting guests to their house for a meal and eating. Just talking happily. But then someone raised their voice. Judging by the voice, this was probably not the homeowner and number 39's voice. All the others were silent, as if they were listening. Today I have something surprising to tell you. In the next room here, right ahead, there is a Knight Dosanari sleeping. He does not know what is waiting for him. But I know. We will. Unfortunately, the next words were so soft that the knight could not hear anything. Then he heard laughter and applause. Yes, do that. I and number 39 am so satisfied. And I will be happy. Dosanari broke out in a cold sweat. A less courageous knight would certainly have fled, but Dosanari did not lose spirit. As soon as he heard the ghosts approaching, he stood up, rolled up his sleeves, spread his legs, holding his sword in his hand, waiting for the time to attack. Just then, he heard a deafening hiss and a line of red light flew into the front of the temple. The red light flew over the ground, spinning and flying in an arc, getting closer and closer to Dosanari and then flying around him. Dosanari slashed his sword at that red light, but the light burst into laughter and continued to dance. Dosanari thought the method to suppress a treacherous enemy was courage, so he shouted in a stern voice, "Stop!" And indeed, the red line stopped jumping. It blinked, hesitated, then suddenly it jumped quickly, raised its voice, softly, "Tell me who I am, otherwise I will strangle you to death." Dosanari did not need to think long, he replied, "Who are you?" It and number 39's obvious that you and number 39 a loose thing, Aaron and #39 tu? The light line no longer danced, he continued, "You are the one who was imprisoned for no reason." As soon as he finished speaking, the red line trembled and disappeared. Just then, he heard a terrible rumbling sound as if a herd of horses were running into the front hall and something long, white, shiny began to jump around Dosanari, and every time that line came near, he heard a barking sound. Finally, the long white thing stopped in front of the knight and said, "Tell me who I am, otherwise I will tear your body into 100 pieces." Dosanari replied quickly, "You are the one who is naked," panting. Then he continued very quickly, "You are the one who is only half buried." Immediately, the elongated light jumped into the air for the last time and disappeared. Dosanari tried to remember who had come to visit the old man, but before he could remember, he heard deep sounds like bells ringing. Up and in front of the electricity hall appeared a round green light. The light rotated and grew until it consumed all the electricity bill. Dosanari had to stand close to the edge of the wall to avoid getting caught in the whirling light. Then suddenly the light stopped and cried out, "Tell me who I am or I will eat you alive." Suddenly Dosanari realized this strange phenomenon. He replied, "You are a bloated, gluttonous person. Insatiable, who drowned in the lake." Then the green mass of light disappeared. Before the knight had time to breathe to regain his strength, suddenly a strange object ran across the ground and emitted fire. The object rushed straight at Dosanari. He quickly jumped. "Move aside." The strange thing stopped and then hissed and said in an unpleasant nasal voice, "Tell me who I am or I will crush your body." And quat, "Aha!" Dosanari thought to himself, "You can and number 39 T-bite," and quat, He quickly replied, "You are a skinny person with broken teeth, someone who was hanged on a tree branch." After hearing that, the ghost immediately disappeared like the 3 previous ghosts. Dosanari thought there was another ghost, but he tried his best but could not remember its name. While he was racking his brain trying to remember, suddenly he heard a voice, flapping their wings like a flock of birds in the room. Then he saw in the empty space something transparent and sparkling with many colors. The thing came closer, finally stopped in the air right in front of Dosanari and said in a loud voice, "Tell me who I am, otherwise I will tease you to death." And quote, "Fortunately for me, you are a ghost." Finally. He thought, because I and number 39 am too tired of this ballgame. End quote. He said, "Okay, you and number 39. Re the first one to arrive, huh." Suddenly something tickled his nose and he jumped up. Fortunately then he remembered the first person and number 39's name. Some are shining, hunched over, some are lost in the dust. See, now go away, I and number 39, they had enough of you." He shouted loudly like that, and sure enough, the transparent object disappeared, and everything became silent again. But in the next room, the light was still on. Dosanari didn't and #39 know if the ghosts were still there or not. He didn't and #39 dare sleep. Fortunately, it was about dawn, the sound of roosters starting to crow in the nearby village, the lights went out, and those sad guests must have gone. Left alone, Dosanari could no longer stand, so he lay down and immediately fell asleep. When he woke up hungry, the sun was shining through the cracks in the wall. Dosanari went to look around the temple. The temple was empty, except for cobwebs, old mats and a dusty chest. Dosanari put his sword back on his belt and stood in the hallway. He looked into the distance and saw a number of villagers gathered, standing silently and looking at him. Remembering their cold reception yesterday, he clasped his hands over his mouth as a megaphone and shouted loudly, "You drove me to ghosts. But you see, nothing happened to me. On the contrary, I had a lot of fun living with ghosts. Do you know who the ghosts in this temple are? Listen to me. Here, there is a long, thin man who has been imprisoned innocently. He received guests including a scrawny man who disappeared in the bushes, a pot-bellied, insatiable man who drowned in a lake. Another was naked and panting, this one only half buried. Then the 5th man, this man was thin and toothless, was hanged from a tree branch. These were 5 very close friends who could not see each other during the day, but only came to gather at the temple at night. If we find those 5 people and gather them in one place, they will stop causing trouble. Well, Don and number 39 just stand there and be scared anymore. Come help me find them quickly. I see there and number 39 a lake in the west. I and number 39 am sure we and number 39 find that big-bellied, gluttonous guy there. Here he is, Dosanari said. Look here, the jar has a bulging belly and is insatiable because it has no bottom. Take it out of the water, then leave it there and let a number 39 go find another one. When the jar was pulled out of the water, Dosanari pointed to the north and said, I see the thick bush, we will find the object. Sparkling, curved light here. All the villagers followed Dosanari and searched in the bushes for a long time. Finally, the knight found a shiny object. He bent down and picked up a beautiful rooster tail feather. "I found it!" he happily shouted. "It sparkles with many colors and is curved. Its owner must have lost it, otherwise it probably wouldn't and #39. Be here. Now we go to the south. There must be someone slim and toothless here." In the south of the temple there is only one tree, so they have to search in all directions. For a while they still found nothing, but finally a little girl saw on a high branch a comb with broken teeth. "Okay, baby. That and number 39. It." Dosanari praised the little girl. "The comb is too thin and all the teeth are broken. Let and number 39. Take it down. Then we and number 39. Go to the east. That stone looks like a tombstone. Maybe here we can find someone naked, gasping for breath, someone only half buried." They threw stones at the stone. Broken teeth on falling tree. Then they went to the stone. Here they Don and number 39 have to search for long. A little behind the stone, people saw protruding from the ground the skull of a horse that had been stripped white by the winds and winds of time. "This is it? It and number 39. True that he and number 39 naked. It still has teeth to grab. It and number 39 true. It and number 39 only half buried. Take the skull and bring it back to the temple. We must find the homeowner, the long, thin man who was imprisoned for no reason." They went to the temple and searched every corner of the temple. But the whole temple is empty. "And what is it, this chest? And what?" Dosanari wondered. "The chest is locked, cannot be opened, and besides, it is not long and thin. But it must be a prison. And what? Maybe the long, thin object is locked in here. And what?" He took the knife and tried with all his strength to pry the lid off the chest. Finally, it popped open. Dosanari saw that there was a whole row of drawers in the chest. In the last drawer, at the bottom, there is a frayed string. Dosanari took out the rope and said, "Here it is. This is the person who was imprisoned without cause, because he did nothing in this chest of pens, and it was thin. In fact it was not long at all, neither long nor big. That and number 39 all. Let and number 39 just let him brag a little. The whole year has been brought together in one place. Please bury them so they Don and number 39 wreak havoc and make everyone afraid." The villagers followed Dosanari and #39's advice. They buried the deepest bottomless jar, then the lost rooster and number 39's tail feathers, the broken-toothed comb, the horse and number 39's skull, and the frayed rope, the homeowner. Everyone thanked Dosanari for taking the trouble to free them from the ghosts that haunted the temple, and apologized for their rude attitude last night. And since that day, whether you believe it or not, no one knows. Someone in the village is afraid of the temple anymore because there are no longer bright, scrawny people. No one with a big belly and a gluttonous appetite. There are no more naked people panting. No more skinny guys with toothless teeth. Not even the name is hanging around. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.